Not sure if you have noticed how conversations about Indian immigrants have often turned out into debates, sometimes heated ones, about their culture, jobs, and their integration into Canada. Some people say they're taking over, they're not adapting, they're changing our way of life. But is that really true? Or is there more story to it? And today I'm going to talk about why Indians are everywhere and why there's so much perception and often misconceptions surrounding them. Of course, nobody can deny Indians are among the largest immigrant groups in countries like Canada, the US, the UK, and Australia. Why? Because immigration policies in these countries prioritize highly skilled workers, and India happens to produce a lot of them. Think about it, India has a population of over 1.4 billion people. Its education system produces millions of engineers, doctors, IT professionals, and even business graduates every single year. And many of them seek better economic opportunities abroad. It's not a conspiracy, but a supply and demand precisely. Governments and companies, of course, actively want Indian talent, and in fact, many industries they need it. One of the biggest criticisms Indian immigrants face is that they take jobs away from locals. But let's break that down a bit more. First, most Indians who immigrate don't just show up and get a job handed to them. They go through the same hiring process as anyone else do. And those else could be even the locals or fellow immigrants from other countries as well. And employees hire based on skills and qualifications. And if an Indian professional gets a job, it's because they were the best fit. And second, many Indian immigrants fill jobs that locals either don't want or don't have the expertise for. Think about the technology industry or healthcare or engineering. Many companies have long standing labor shortages in these fields. And third, Indians don't just take away jobs from somebody, they create them. And here, Indian entrepreneurs in the US alone have built massive companies employing thousands of them. Think of Satya Nadella, Microsoft CEO, Sundar Pichai from Google, or even Indra Nooyi, former PepsiCo CEO. Even at a small business level, many Indian immigrants start companies that employ locals. So instead of taking jobs, the bigger reality is that they are filling skill gaps and driving economic growth. The other big criticism is that Indians don't integrate. Now, this one is interesting because it depends on how you define integration. Does integration mean completely giving up your own culture, or does it mean participating in society while keeping your identity? Look at any major Western city. Indians are running businesses, contributing to communities, working in public services, and paying taxes like everyone else does. They participate in politics, law enforcement, education, and media. And in many ways, they are integrated. Yes, of course, they hold on to their culture just like Italians, Chinese, Irish, or any other immigrant group historically did. And they celebrate Diwali just like other communities celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah. They, therefore, just like everyone else, enjoys their own cuisine. Is that a failure to integrate or just cultural diversity? Let's be real for a moment. Indian culture is already deeply embedded in the West. And that could be Bollywood, yoga, child artists, Indian tech CEOs, Indian doctors, you name it. Integration is happening even if it looks different from what some people expect. Some people feel uncomfortable seeing too many Indians in a neighborhood, university, or workplace. They feel like they are being outnumbered, but let's put this into perspective. Immigrant groups tend to cluster. It's a human nature. Italians, Irish, Chinese, and others have done this for centuries. It helps with survival and, of course, cultural preservation. If a community grows, it's because of demand. No one is forcing Indian professionals into tech firms, hospitals, or business schools. And they are being chosen because of their merit. If you all agree, diversity is a two-way street. If an Indian student at Harvard is open to learning about American culture, shouldn't American students also be open to learning about Indian culture? As an immigrant myself, I've experienced both acceptance and definitely resistance. Some people see immigrants as valuable contributors, and I have witnessed those people who supported me in my journey in the last 4 years, and some others see them as outsiders, and I've seen that set of people as well. But I've learned one thing: most negative perceptions come from lack of understanding. The reality is, most Indian immigrants want the same thing as anyone else: a good life, a fair chance, and respect. They definitely work hard, contribute, and raise their families just like everyone else does. So here's my final thought: instead of seeing immigration as a threat, maybe we should see it as an evolution, because history shows us that every group at some point was new and faced these same questions. And yet, they became part of the fabric of society.